Hello, idiots and iconoclasts. My name is TVSkyne, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where poor Lady Iceheart has just had her heart broken a little bit by Heavensward, who has revealed that, no, she's not actually Shiva, and the Shiva that she summoned is a fake Shiva that she made up. It's her OC that she tried to make canon, which has sort of devastated the poor woman. But, you know, we'll see how well she recovers from that. Meanwhile, Istinian is like, okay, well, that didn't work, so time for murder. And now, I suppose it's time to see if we can maybe talk him out of doing that too hard, or find some alternate solution to the problem. How about you, Elfano? What do you think?
Well, what do you propose we do now? I, for one, am intent on continuing to the east.
What is there to be found in the east?
Nidhogg's lair, the Eyrie, is said to lie in that direction. And the eye tells me he is near.
You cannot still mean to slay him.
You cannot still mean to stop me. I have been true to my word, and aided you in this fool's errand with Hraesvelgr. But your efforts at parley have come to naught, Lady Iceheart. I would see Ishgard saved, and for that, Nidhogg must die.
With the tale of our ancestors' vile betrayal yet ringing in your ears, you speak of continuing this war?
Nay, lady. I would but pierce its vengeful heart. When Nidhogg dies, this war shall die with him.
A moment, Istinian. You yourself spoke of the Great Worm's strength, that you believed him powerful enough to raise your city to the ground. How then are we few to challenge him? Even behind the stout walls of Ishgard, with an army of knights manning the defenses, our victory would be hard won. Yet you propose to contend with the beast in his own lair.
In close combat, this will afford us an advantage. And with two Azure Dragoons working in unison, who can say what might be possible? But such speculation is meaningless if we cannot even find the worm. Our first task must be to seek out Nidhogg's lair.
The story of this nation grows bloodier by the moment. Must death always be answered with more of the same?
Such is the way of things, I fear. I shall consider it a miracle if mine armor is not stained crimson ere this conflict is ended.
That I should be blinded by my own lies. Everything I believed, everything I thought I was, gone. All gone.
Leave her. Your words will not reach her now. And we have not the time to wait for her to gather up the pieces of her shattered faith.
We have time enough to say sorry.
Is that it?
Aye, that would be the Eyrie. I feel Nidhogg's presence through the eye, his caustic hatred gnawing at my soul. 'Twould seem the death of his consort has put him on guard. Mark how he wards his lair with tempestuous winds.
A similar barrier once barred our entrance to the Primal Garuda's domain, until we discovered the means by which it could be penetrated. Mayhap it is time we called upon Master Garland. It will be just like the good old days, no?
La la la. Man, the leitmotif from Dragon Song is just all freaking over. Ah, the squats are back, I see. And my client has put them in perfect sync. Well, almost. Man, that is just a good dress. That thing, or coat. Is that technically a dress if it opens down front? Is there like a different word for that? Skirt? Oh, the butterfly. That's cute. And we have literally a 2B cosplay here, but with bunny ears. And Vieira high heels. Oof. Like, they're impractical. There's no reason to wear those while walking around normally. Because, like, the number of things that you would sink into with sharp heels like that. Like, just get a flat heel. But they do look good. No disputing that. Ooh. Oh, that kind of has a... You know, with the bright red, it kind of has the vibe almost of a flamenco dancer. Like, it kind of has the vibe of that kind of dress. But, except, you know, you're going to stab people to death. Which most flamenco dancers don't do. I still like that coat. Oh, man. That is good. And again, this is so good for specifically for like a red mage, like with the fencer thing that red mages have got going on. Like the long boots and like the sort of flouncy Renaissance looking shirt and like the vest over, like that's such a fencer's outfit. Like suits the weapon really well. Fucking Eye of the Tiger. Would you ever have a glamour fashion show? Yes, I have been talking about this for a long time, actually. That I want to do something like that. And probably not next week, but maybe the week after that. I want to give people like a couple of weeks in advance in case they want to put together any special glams for it. Maybe in a couple of weeks. I'll need to put together like a quick little video sort of announcing it so people know how the thing. I also need to plan it because like if 500 people show up with their glams, I can't just kind of randomly go around like ADHDing my way around it all. That feels a little unfair. So like I want to do a little bit of organizing. I want to do a little bit of organizing. I want to figure things out. But yes, it's a thing I have in my head that I want to do at some point. People from other DCs can enter. It's only going to be Europe, because, like, I can't really... I can't have, I can't do a stream on both data centers at once, right? It might be something like if it... Oh, hello. If it's the kind of thing that becomes popular... Ooh, glasses! Oh, glasses. Oh, I like glasses. Oh, hello. Let's see. Ooh, pince nez. Yeah, contemporary pince nez. Yeah. And then, ooh, it's proper, like, yeah. A corset. Can I even wear that as a Hrothgar? I wonder. It would be cool if I could. Class spectrum. Yes! Oh my god, flowers. Yes, excellent. Excellent. It bothers me I can't wear my glasses at the same time, but yes, good, thank you. That is probably going to come in handy for something or other. Like if I ever do Dancer with Brick, A force of sufficient power to break through Opaimal's defenses might conceivably grant us access to the Eyrie. And I can offer no better solution. Pray consult this engineer friend of yours. Very well. On the condition that you swear not to lure Nilhogg from his lair in our absence. And steal all the glory for myself, you mean? Nay, I'm not so selfish as that. Contact me by Link Pearl when your preparations are complete and we shall set forth from Ishgard together. I suggest we rendezvous back at St. Renate's Forum, Brick. From what I've gleaned of the Holy Sea's decidedly ambitious airship project, Sid will still be in Ishgard. Rising up, back on the street. Okay, took care of this then. Did my time, took my chances, baby. Oh, there was a design review. Okay, let's see. It's on le Discord. Et voilà ici. Now that is pink. That is pink on pink with some pink accents to pink it up. So that is fucking stylish right there. And it's a very clever thing to use the leopard pattern on the Hrothgar's skin to accentuate it. Because like that sort of even goes into like the scarf, and then like down the black fur into the black shirt into the black coat. And then like acts like that. That is a really strong fucking color scheme. That is a really goddamn fucking strong color scheme. Damn. Yeah, no, that is profound. Like that looks profoundly self-assured and confident. Right? Like just in the way that it's put together, it looks very confident. If I were to give a criticism, like if you could find a way to put a little bit of like a little bit of pink accenting on the boots, like that might be the thing to complete the look. The armor plating is good, like given that you sort of have this thick coat thing going on, so you might want to have something that sort of has the same profile for the legs. You could do a little bit of pink accenting on this on the boots. Like if you can find the right boot that isn't like, you don't want it to be pure pink, probably. But if you can find something that kind of does that has that little accenting, like some stitching or something, that might be the thing to super complete it. But since you have so much of it already, like you have it in the sword, you have it in the coat, you have it in the accessory that floats next to you, it's not really necessary either. That is just a really fucking confident design right there. And the glasses are a really fucking good touch too. They kind of make it a little bit like the glasses, like with the sort of the stylish sunglasses vibe, really just kind of go, yeah, I know what the fuck I look like, and do you have a problem with it? Like it has a sense of confidence. No, that's fantastic. That is fantastically well put together. You have good reason to be proud of that. It's a modded one, and it uses a little bit of reshade, but still, like that's still good character design. Like, still well put together. Aw, that's a cute emote to use in a Hrothgar. Oh, Mrs. Holmes, I didn't see you there. Aw, that's fucking styling. Anyway, Aetheryte, yes. Probably use that to go around places. Miss Columbo, yeah, I guess. Mikotiarty, her arch nemesis. Oh, one more thing, sir. I can't believe I forgot this, but, yeah. I can't do a good Columbo, unfortunately. When last you saw Master Garland, he was still advising the Ishgardians in their ailing airship, correct? In that case, he might still be at Camp Cloudtop. Failing that, we could try the airship landing, or mayhap even the Skysteel manufactory. But let us not waste time searching aimlessly. Someone in the city is sure to know where to find him. The question is who. So Emmerich would be the obvious choice, but there's no guarantee he'll be able to grant us an audience in a short notice. Ah, I have it. Count Edmund's youngest son prides himself on knowing all of the Holy See's juiciest rumors. Let us return to the manor and see if the Lord Madeleine is about. I feel like the noir coat, like if that's what it's called, someone said in chat, like that coat particularly, like you could probably use that on, well, either a Rogadin, obviously an Rogadin, but I think even on a Hrothgar, you could probably do a good Dick Gumshoe. Like, you could probably do a good Phoenix Wright Dick Gumshoe impression. When it comes to exchanging information of uncertain origin, Lord Madeleine is something of a prodigy. You mean lying? Yeah, sure. We are fortunate to find Lord Madeleine at home. The tavern keeper's loss is our game. Ah, the hero returns. How goes the fight, old boy? Well, I trust. Huh? In search of a Sid Garland, you say? Oh, well, then say no more. The taverns are full of talk, and the name of said silver-haired genius has cropped up more often than most. I hear he's been tasked with getting that monstrous airship the Holy See commissioned to actually fly. 'Twould seem the project has been plagued with mishaps from the first. In any case, Garland Iwerk's employees are known to frequent the airship landing, and I'll wager their master does too. The airship landing, yes? Well, I thought as much. Come, Brick, we must find Sid and trouble him for his expert opinion. Well, he's good for something. I love him, Madeleine. He sucks. Yeah. Ah, the barista fit. And with the fucking fork. That is a good match. That's a good match of weapon. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It really does look like you run like a barbecue stand on the side of the road or something. That's fantastic. Oh, classic red mage. Classic red mage fit. It's the hat that does it. Because, like, without the hat, this could be like, yeah, it could be like fucking whatever. Could be a pirate, could be a ninja, could sort of be anything. But the hat with the feather, that's the red mage thing. That is the red mage trademark. I do love, and this is something more. I'm sorry, not so much about your glam as it is about the design of the hat. I do love that the hat is like specifically designed to do that, like to cover up one eye from most angles. Well, at least if you're taller than the person you're talking to, which I always am. How tall am I? Genuinely, I kind of don't know, because I haven't been measured since I was like 20-something? So who knows? I could have gotten shorter in that time, but somewhere in the neighborhood of 185 centimeters-ish. I don't know what that is in America units. But I was talking more about Brick. Like, Brick is, is always taller. Well, I think maybe the male Rogadin can get taller than the male Hrothgar, because male Hrothgar bend over so much. Always appreciate the merry-go-round of life. I think whoever tracked that might have been a little too ambitious with how many notes they could play. Okay. That is a really pretty dress. Did you just fucking Megalovania me? Oh my god. Oh, there must be a Lalafell who does a Sans Undertale cosplay somewhere. Oh my fucking god. That's a really nice dress. Like, using that for a red mage clan, with those gloves especially, I think the gloves are actually kind of the thing that makes... Like I said before, the hat is the thing that always, like, really makes a red mage. Like, like a classic Final Fantasy red mage are so strongly identified by the hats. But the gloves here are, like, a great touch. Genuinely quite excellent. Like, that really sort of does transform it from feeling like, okay, this looks like a sort of Victorian house, like, this looks like a fine dress for like a proper lady kind of thing. Someone who doesn't get their hands dirty, but then you get the gloves and it's like, oh, no. The reason this lady doesn't get her hands dirty is because she wears the right gloves for the job, right? Yeah, and like the hairstyle is also a great choice here. With like the ribbon, that's what I'm looking for. The ribbon and then like the red edges, like the red tinge on the hair. That's really nice. I like that. I cannot believe you fucking Megalovania at me. Brick, Alphino, how fare you both? Not terribly well, judging by your faces. Greetings, Master Garland. I'm sure it'll come as a little surprise when I tell you we have need of a favor. I refuse to make Cid British. Absolutely not. No Cid has ever been British except... Well, not even really, but in Final Fantasy XII, he could have been British, but he wasn't. Shouldn't have been, anyway. Another windbearer, you say? And it was conjured by Nilhogg. Well, the Enterprise can certainly take you where you need to go, but she would not fare well against dragons. She's an agile ship for her size, but not that agile. The Dravanians would fly rings around her. And if they took it into their heads to incinerate the rigging, there'd be precious little we could do to avoid them. But there must be something we could do. Some manner of weapon we could employ. Estinian stands vigil at the edge of the churning mists, but we do not know how much longer... All right. I didn't say it was impossible. I said it was impossible for the Enterprise. We need a smaller boat. Biggs, Wedge, it's time you gave that new toy of yours a proper field test. It's probably best if I let the lads show you. Come on, the manufacturer is not far. I do like Sid's new look, too. Like I talked about it previous, like the black and white is very suitable, very, very fitting for his character. But I also like that he has like the one huge oven glove ass looking mitten, right, on his arm. Because that, again, like that sort of implies something about what he spends his time doing, the kind of life that he leads, which is one where occasionally you need heavy-duty protection for, like, one hand, because you're hammering shit, or you're, like, getting close to sparks and heat and stuff. Why does black and white suit... Oh, well, we talked about that previously, but essentially, like, he is... You know, specifically, he is a Garlean character, right? He comes from the Empire of Garland. He has chosen to, like, defend the light, but he was in the service to darkness. Like, there is an aspect of that where he is, like, and he's using Garlean technology to, like, improve the world of Eorzea, but it's still, you know... So there's this aspect of two different worlds colliding inside him and two different identities that he's choosing between. And trying to make up for the sins of the past also kind of seems... They haven't really explored it much with him, but sort of the idea that Cid is making up for the sins of the past, the war machines that he invented for the Garleans, that seems to be kind of part of his psychological makeup. So I think that suits him. Oh, hang on. No! Ah! I wanted to cancel out of the conversation. I guess you can't do that.
Feast your eyes upon our latest and greatest feat of engineering. We call it a mana cutter.
Ooh.
After you put down Gaius, Wedge and me struck out on our own for a bit and started work on the successor to the tiny Bronco.
Why are you from the north?
Impressive little thing, isn't she? My talent for ship design has plainly rubbed off on them. They've adapted the principles of corrupted crystal technology and constructed a mechanism which converts ether from its surroundings into elemental wind. Said wind is then harnessed by the specially engineered sails, providing the craft with propulsion and lift. All in all, a most elegant solution. I'm actually a little upset that I didn't think of it myself.
The design does, however, come with one small flaw.
Does it explode?
The energy conversion ratio is bloody awful. To generate enough power to get you off the ground, you need to be in an area awash with predominantly wind-aspected ether.
In other words, there are a few places you can fly, lots of places you can't.
The new Ishgardian airship hasn't left the boys much time for tinkering, meaning it may be a while before this particular project takes off. If you'll forgive the pun.
I will not. And thank you for subscribing, Aioli.
Tataru, what's happened?
I've been looking all over for you. There's been word from Ulda. It's about Her Grace, the Sultana.
Well, okay then. We are being pulled in many directions right now.
It seems you're required elsewhere. Leave the Mana Cutter with us. We'll see that she's airworthy and suitably equipped to slice through those winds. You, meanwhile, should concentrate on providing Raoban and the Sultana whatever help they need.
Expansion just went too much Ishgard. Back to the desert. Yeah, the game decided I haven't ranted about capitalism in a while. Let's send him back to Ulda, see what happens. Let's light this candle. I wish there was a headbang emote. Came in the middle of a guitar battle. Oh, the Discord link. Yes, I shall post that. I forgot about it.
General Robot says they may have uncovered the Sultana's whereabouts, and he wants you, which I mean both of you, to go to the Waking Sands right away and help the investigation. Come, Brick. Pressing through Isgard's plight may be, our presence here will not serve to hasten the Mana Cutter's completion. Let us return to the troubled lands of Thanalan and lend what aid we can. Tataro, have our friends at the congregation send a message to Estinian. Tell him we'll have identified a solution to our problem, but that it will take some time to prepare. As you wish, Master Alfino. To the Waking Sands, Warrior of Light. 'Tis past time Ulda was delivered from this darkness.
As I've said before, I do think it's a little cheap. Let's look at release. I do feel it's a little cheap to sort of do the whole song and dance about, oh, assassination, so Sultana's dead, and Ulda will never be the same. Hey, wait, hang on, wait a minute. And Ulda will never be the same, and then sort of pull the Uno reverse card and say, ah, no, she was fine, it was just a sleeping potion, hey, nothing happened. Like, that's a little cheap. Like, from a storytelling perspective, that's kind of unsatisfying to just sort of have pretend like she's dead and then, oh, she was, because it's sort of a kind with the, it was all a dream thing, or there was a total hallucination, or they were dead the whole time. It's sort of a kind with those, where you sort of, we sort of pull the rug out from under someone for this, but apparently for the purposes of simply, of simply undoing the consequences of something severe that you did, right? That's it's kind of weak storytelling. Anyway, I wanted to look at the, nice. Ooh, I think I've seen that top before, but it's like I said, like these flouncy sleeves, really good fit for a fencer. But what I really like here is the boots, like bright scarlet leather boots and a little crown on the head. Like, may I say, sir, you look particularly non-heterosexual today. Complimentary. Like, that's a statement piece. Big, bright red boots, that is always a statement piece. Oh, hey. A red panda minion. Aw. It sits on the shoulder. That's cute. Anyway, Aetheryte. Ticket. This whole aspect, to me, always reeked of an abandoned plot thread, something they intended to commit to but dropped halfway through and needed a quick explanation for. I think the explanation for why the Sultana is still alive is simpler than that. Like, I think it really is, I rather suspect that it's because the Sultana is an NPC who's needed for quests that, at this point, like, for example, if I have not played Astrologer yet, right, and I'm going through, like, I want to go through, like, some of the old job quests or whatever. Like, if she shows up, even in passing or as a topic of conversation in any of the old job quests, then if you have killed her in the story, you sort of introduce a huge problem if you go back to a job quest and it's like, oh, no, there she is. She's fine. Which is sort of the same reason why you can't really fuck with the Mariel or Kanisena or too much with General Rauban, is because they kind of need to still be alive for past bits of the story, right? And this is just something that's generally a thing with MMOs and with large ongoing storytelling projects like this, is like, if you've designed a bunch of content around a particular character being alive, then in order to kill them, you kind of have to do something to deal with all the old content, right? Like, you kind of have to do something to deal with all the old storylines. And there's a couple ways to do that. Someone in chat says, like, for example, you can consider each expansion a new bubble, right? You can consider each one a new storyline, and then consider anything that like happens in the old job quests as something that happened in the past, right? Like a flashback, essentially. You can sort of say, oh, well, that's just like, you just kind of have to accept that the newest expansion is the most canon. And that is a way to do it. But it is one of those thorny things where, like, I know for a fact that inside game studios, like, minor wars can break out over this kind of thing. Like, minor wars between developers and story stakeholders and people who sort of, like, manage the expectations of players and community managers. Wars can break out inside studios over, like, what characters you're allowed to kill and what characters you're not. Because, like, there's always going to be someone who's like, no, Jesus fucking Christ, we just made, like, 2,000 hours, like, we just spent 2,000 man-hours making content around this particular character being alive, so if you kill them off, then the players are going to look at this content and go, well, why should I invest in that character? They're going to die anyway. And then everything that we've just worked on becomes pointless and can't be developed further, right? That's the other conflict that can be, is if one set of developers are like, no, we really want to develop this storyline and we need this character to be alive in order to do that, and then the other ones, if you just continue the storyline without it, but like, no, then we can't get the players to invest in this storyline if the character is just gonna be dead, right? And those are the kinds of wars that can happen inside a studio that can lead to shit like this, especially in a project that is as big as Final Fantasy. Like, this is something that happened in League of Legends, right? You know the Yordles in League of Legends? You know how for a while there was this weird confusion about whether the Yordles were like fairy creatures or whether they were just like a normal kind of creature that just lives in the League of Legends world, right? And then some content, it was like, oh, Yordles are like elusive fairies and most normal humans have never seen one and they hide themselves with glamours. Those are some of the stories. And then, like, a game like Legends of Runeterra, it's like, fuck it, Yordles everywhere. Everyone knows Yordles. There's Yordles on the pirate ship. There's Yordles in Demacia. There's Yordles all over the place. And that was essentially a bit of an unresolved war inside of Riot for a very, very long time, where some stakeholders insisted, no, they have to be fairies. That makes more sense. That's more interesting. And a bunch of other stakeholders were like, no, it's more fun if they're just everywhere. Like, and that went unresolved for a very, very long time. And there was such confusion among like the lore enthusiasts and a lot of the players about like, what the fuck are we even supposed to think about the Yordles? And because Riot themselves were internally deadlocked about it, they couldn't come to a consensus. It just sort of, everyone just sort of put out their own stories, and we're just like, no, we're going to write stories as though Yordles have nothing to do with glamour and they're just everywhere, and then we're going to write stories as though Yordles are fucking cryptids, and we're not going to resolve that at all. That shit happens in big collaborative storytelling projects like this all the time. And one of the ways to avoid having to deal with those big conflicts is just to say, okay, important NPCs don't die. Plot armor, they can't die, they're fine. If they seem to die, we'll just bring them back, because then we can do a plot line where they die, but oh no, they were just asleep and then they came back, or we revived them, or we went to the underworld to collect their soul or whatever, and then it's fine. Then we don't have to deal with all this fucking infighting and bullshit. Like, that happens all the time in game development. That is just normal. And I would expect that might be one of the things that's happened with like I'm sure internally there were a bunch of people who were like, no, she's supposed to be dead. She's gonna be dead. She's gonna stay dead forever. And then there was a bunch of people who were like, no, but we want to make some content, like, you know, have the thing, we have this plan, and we wanted to do this storyline, we wanted to do that thing. And eventually the compromise was reached, like, okay, you can kill her, but then we have to bring her back. Like, it's entirely possible that happened.
Thank you for coming.
I'm more annoyed that Rauban doesn't have his beard.
No thanks are necessary, General. I trust your recuperation continues apace.
I cannot complain. Thanks to Higiri and her ministrations, I've regained much of the strength I lost during my imprisonment.
I gather you have made progress in the search for Her Grace.
Aye, some good fortune at last. A few days past, Dulala informed us that a sizable shipment of alchemical supplies had been delivered to the palace.
With Papa Shan's assistance, I set out to ascertain the source and nature of the shipment. My inquiries led me to Frondale's frontistery. There, I learned that an order had been placed for a curious substance designed to sustain patients trapped in death-like slumber. An invention of the former head alchemist, apparently.
A death-like slumber? This cannot be a coincidence.
It lends some weight to Dulala's claims, aye. Her Grace is likely somewhere within the palace, abed but alive.
Before making any attempt to extricate the Sultana, however, it seemed prudent to learn what manner of substance was used to induce her torpor. To that end, I made inquiries as to the whereabouts of the one most like to have administered it. The lady-in-waiting, Mariel. We sent for you as soon as we learned of her location. All that remains is to apprehend the woman.
We shall find our cat's paw in the Silver Bazaar. But we must tread carefully. The market is not the bustling place it once was.
Yes, it is.
And someone is sure to mark our coming. Should they inform the monetarists, we'll have a fight on our hands. We must be prepared for the worst, and being short an arm, I thought it wise to take another in its stead. What say you, Warrior of Light?
That was a clever
Will you lend
line.
me yours? Then I pity the bastard that stands in our way. Come, my friend, for Nanamo and for Ulda!
So one of the reasons, by the way, why facial hair looks a little bit weird on Lalafells is because they have no stubble. Like, their entire faces are completely smooth at all times, and there is no texture work at all in their character models that indicate like the concept of facial hair. And this is something that's like generally a problem in a lot of anime character design. Something you'll often see in like actually Fire Emblem Engage. There's a paladin character. You know the paladin character you always have in Fire Emblem games who's like overpowered but who's kind of useless in the late game. That guy, when he's... I'm gonna fucking find you a picture because what's the paladin guy? What's his name? Yeah, Vander. How dare they steal that good name? I'm gonna find you a picture of him because motherfucker just looks like his facial hair is fully glued on, like fully pasted on. Right? You see that? You see how the facial hair just kind of looks like it's glued to his head? Rather than seeming like it's growing out of it. And the reason that happens is because the texture design for these anime characters, and sort of in general in terms of especially 3D anime, it just doesn't reckon with the idea that human skin has, like, pores. Right? It's one of the things that anime is in general has been really bad at stylizing. Is the idea of skin texture, is the idea of pores, is the idea of like aging or deterioration in the skin even. And because they don't do that, when they apply facial hair to these completely fucking smooth otherwise faces, it looks ridiculous. Like, it looks like it's glued on. Like, a lot of anime characters, the stylization kind of hides it. You kind of don't notice it that much, but then you look at fucking Lalafell with facial hair and you kind of go, no, you glued that on. Like, that's crazy glued onto your face. That is a fake mustache that you bought at a Halloween store. That is not a real mustache because you cannot have facial hair on that head, kiddo. If one had chosen to entrap the Sultana in a death-like sleep rather than slay her, then one would surely also know other means to rouse her from said state. There must be an antidote to this poison. Yes. The poison. The poison for the Sultana. The poison chosen specifically to put the Sultana into a deadly sleep. That poison. Yeah. Also can't do a good Kronk. Our target is Mariel, the Sultana's former lady-in-waiting, a woman of Midlander heritage. I'm told the two of you have met. Our sources indicate that she left the palace shortly after the incident and quietly rejoined the dwindling population of the Silver Bazaar. I suggest we begin by questioning the market's residents and confirm that Mariel is still hiding there. I see people have assembled around the table, or just taken their chairs and gone outside to fly them around. I kind of can't get over that you can have a fucking beds and chairs that fly. That nearly killed me the first time I saw it. Like when someone like pulled out a bed mount, and I was like, oh, is that like a decoration? Is that an emote? What's that thing? And then it just fucking took off.
Mariel? Oh, she's here. Left to say for good, she says. Barely leaves the house, though. Huh? That's the closest one to the market entrance.
Well, that was easy. I have a bunch of mail. I hope it's nothing private. Fire bricks. That's a brick joke. Just a little... I'll take him. Just a little... Oh my fucking god. Oh, for the eventual FC house. Okay. And a little brick minion. Oh, okay. So that was that wedding invitation I got. That's already happened now, I'm afraid. Okay, well.
Oh, what brings you to our lonely little hamlet? I believe the arrival of your entourage just about doubled our population.
You're not wrong. You're not. Did the game just call me out? Oh my god. Yeah, she can see you.
Looking for Mariel, you say? If you're hoping to lure her back to Ulda, you may as well give up now. The girl's done with city life.
called me the fuck out. Called you out, actually. Didn't call me out. I'm not doing anything. You guys are just following me around. It's not like I encourage you explicitly to do that. All the time. Every time I stream. Our target is me. Yeah, that's the same dialogue as before. You are not already returning residents. Gods, don't tell me they're starting to come back. My masters will not be pleased to hear this. What are you, a landlord? Gee, I wonder if maybe it's this house. Hello.
You are Mariel, the Sultana's former lady-in-waiting?
I know no one of that name. Pray excuse me.
The most non-guilty looking expression in the entire world, ever.
General Alden.
I lived, bitch. Meme reference.
We will have the truth from you, girl.
Yes, by asking politely. Oh hey, guess who's also here?
Mayhap it would be better coming from me.
Mayhap I kick your ass into the ocean.
Lonorito, you'd best talk fast.
As you know, Teleji Adeleji's Cartano reclamation bill was no more than a facade. A means to get his grubby little hands on that Allagan monstrosity Omega.
Omega?
When he learned of Nanamo's intention to abdicate, however, he was forced to amend his plans. Suddenly, assassination seemed the most promising way to further his ambitions.
Omega. Really? Omega? Changing the name of the group chat right now.
Teleji had discovered a maid in whose veins ran the blood of House Thorn. A new, more pliable puppet to sit the throne. 'Twould have caused an uproar, of course, but few could have contested her claim. 'Twas plain that Teleji's wild machinations had outgrown our ability to control them. So I decided to usurp his scheme and left the fool to seal his own demise.
Cool, but you're unguarded right now.
And what of Nanamo?
And I have a sword.
Oh, I have no desire to harm her grace. 'Twould profit me little to destabilize our government. Thus did I employ young Mariel here to administer a potent sleeping potion in place of a poison.
Yeah, and let's just reaffirm this. The reason why it would profit him little to destabilize the government is because he's on top of it right now. Which is why he wanted her, instead of just like, the thing you could have done, my little shithead friend, you could have just exposed the scheme and said, hey, this guy's doing some bad shit. Let's just get to let you out of it. He's doing bad things. And then Nanamo could have abdicated and attempted to institute a republic, but we couldn't have that, could we? We couldn't have that. We couldn't have a republic in Ulda. We needed to keep the government stable, which means keeping it a monarchy, which means maybe she's not dead, but maybe she's not quite alive either. So yeah, oh boy, smart boy, just so concerned about the stability of Ulda's government. Oh, just really wants to preserve the peace and
You should know, General, that your dear friend Ilberd was fully aware of my plan. I had him lie about the assassination as a means to prime your rage against Teleji. We weren't entirely sure how you would react, but things went rather better than expected.
We could just kill him now. We could just kill him.
You conniving little worm. You had your claws in the Crystal Braves before their first recruit had sworn to serve.
Just kill him. Just, you have a sword. Just do it.
But of course, when a new game begins, 'tis only prudent to have a piece on the board. Ilberd was mine.
Little tiny neck. You won't even feel it.
A significant proportion of the Braves' initial endowment was also mine. With such large sums moving about, 'twas a rather trifling matter to disguise my own contribution.
Easy to ring. Just like...
Ah, Ilberd. I secured his services with a promise to support his cause once my authority had been solidified. I swear, the man thinks of naught but prizing Alamigo from the grasp of the Empire.
A promise, of course, you will not keep.
Unlike you, General, the poor fellow seems quite unable to forsake the land of his forefathers. Mayhap that's why he called you a traitor to your people and a disgrace to your homeland, amongst other things. What was it he always compared you to? Oh, yes, an overgrown lapdog begging for scraps at the Sultana's table. Oh, how we laughed.
So this is like a little bit of characterization moment for Lolorito. It's like, yeah, like I see people in chat saying, oh, he's the expression of just sheer like cold self-interest. No, he's not. No, he isn't. Like, that's not what he is. He's sadistic. What he's doing right now, like, he's like, and that's also the thing of like, oh, it's more convenient to me if the Sultana isn't dead. Well, yeah, but you also took pleasure. Clearly, he takes pleasure in making Rauban suffer, because Rauban has always been an obstacle to his ambitions, right? He takes pleasure in manipulating and hurting and controlling people around him. He's sadistic. He's not just coldly self-interested, he's cruel. And he acts on that cruelty for his own entertainment.
Alas, Ilberd's entertaining little outbursts eventually gave way to wearisome tirades, and the zealous brute became rather unruly. I had no wish to see you executed, you understand, but he would not take no for an answer.
Liar.
Rest assured, his employment with me has long since ended. Which brings us neatly to the present. What say you, General? Both you and the Sultana are alive. We have one corpse and one fugitive. And preparations have been made to restore your good name. Shall we cry quits and start again with a blank ledger?
Fuck you.
The hells we will! Do you honestly expect me to forgive and forget? After all you've done? You're guilty of high treason!
Stay your blade, Master Alden. You yourself are not innocent. Or have you forgotten your own crime in executing Teleji Adeleji without trial?
That's kind of a fair
Though you
point,
acted
sort
out
of.
loyalty to the Sultana, such deeds are in violation of both the word and spirit of the law.
That's kind of true. He did deserve it, though. Like, a lot. He deserved it a lot.
If you
And he was
want,
rich,
Lord
so
Lolorito,
who cares?
This potion will wake the Sultana from her slumber. Consider it a gesture of conciliation. You will find Her Grace resting comfortably within her private chambers. Should you doubt my word, I shall willingly accompany you to the palace as your hostage.
I like not your motives, Lolorito. But you saved the Sultana's life, and for that, you have my gratitude.
Okay, but can we not just we have the potion now, and we know where she is, so can we couldn't we just take him out the back, like Dulala, if you, hey, you want some tea?
Aldin, you are hereby reinstated as General of the Immortal Flames. The citizens of Ulda shall once more be united under Nanamo Ulnamo, and together we shall usher in a new age of prosperity.
Under the monarchy, under the monetarists. New age of prosperity, my ass. She wanted to abdicate, you dickheads! Oh, you've been to the Wanderer's Palace, Mail. I hope you had fun. But no, yeah, hit the reset button on Ulda. Sure, let's do that. Because things were so good before. There was no problems in Ulda. It was just Teledji Adeledji. He was the bad one. He was the problem. He was doing too much scheming. And then because of too much scheming, then bad things in Ulda. But now he's dead. So Ulda, fine, everything's cool. Everything's totally cool and all that is fine. Oh, I like the hood. Yeah. The hood is a really good add to that. That makes you like a shadow warrior, right? Oh, fuck. That cape fucks. Oh, that cape, like black with the dark red embroidery? No, that fucking slaps. That's awesome. I do want to see what happens when Nanamo wakes up, though.
By the 12, I feared Lord Lolorito's arrival would herald another bloodbath.
It should have.
Little did I suspect that he, of all people, would gift us the means to rouse the Sultana. Shall we make our way to Ulda? I should imagine Bartholomew has been instructed to admit us.
Yeah, but also, what about the other Scions, though? It'd be cool if they were not dead. Like, if we're just gonna cancel... If we're just gonna cancel Nanamo's death, let's just cancel all the heroic sacrifices that they did to help us escape, also. Let's just fuck it, let's hit the reset button. Like, just slam that thing into the ground. Also, did anyone notice the massive hypocrisy? Right, like that... Dulala stops Rauban from just fucking murdering Lolorito by saying, you're also guilty of a crime of killing a guy without trial. But then in the very next breath, she's like, also, you're restored now. You're general again, and there's no problem. There's not gonna be any, like, she threatens him with the threat of legal proceed, like that the law must be upheld, that we shall keep to the word and the spirit of the law. And if you do not, like, if you refuse to accede to our demands for a peaceful resolution, then the law will be brought to bear against you. But then in the very next breath, she also says, yeah, we'll just ignore it. Like, fuck it. Like, we'll just ignore the law for now, and you're just reinstated. You don't have to go on trial. The murder was fine. We don't care, right? It is the law, not as a fetter on authority, not as a limitation or a binding on the authority of those who rule the country. It is the law as a means of power, right? It is the law as a tool to enact power over society. And that is accurate to the real world also, which you will know if you pay attention to, like, it's one of the general principles. If you want to know who really controls a society, pay attention to who gets punished the harshest under the law. And the answer there is always like, some oil company spills 400 billion gallons of oil into the Mexican Gulf or whatever, and it's like, oh, they have to pay a fine of some $100 million, which is like a tenth of 1% of 1% of what they make in a year, and they have to say really badly sorry a lot, and this is fine. It's that observation that's often made that if the penalty for breaking a law is a fine, then that law, like, only applies to the poor, right? That's just a matter of, you can do that if you want to, you just have to pay a fee to do it, right? It's one of the few things I'll say, like, South Park skewered quite accurately when they did, like, the BP, like, they did the parody thing of, like, the British Petroleum after they did the Mexican Gulf oil spill, where they just had these constant, like, PSAs running on screen with, like, the CEO lying on a bearskin rug going, "We're sorry, we're sorry, we're sorry." Like, sort of very accurately parodying the profound insincerity of the bullshit. Oh yeah, and of course the recent train crash that happened in East Palestine, Ohio. Nobody who was actually responsible for that train crash happening, which is to say the managers, the CEOs, the people who were actually responsible for instituting the bad policies that led to that accident becoming essentially inevitable, none of them are going to jail. None of them are going to be held accountable for any goddamn thing, but I promise you, the train drivers, the people who were on the ground trying to do the best they could under the circumstances they were presented with, there's a chance that they'll go to jail for gross negligence, but the CEOs pay a few $1 million and you're off the hook. That's the way it goes. And so it goes in Ulda. Flame General Robban mentioned you might be coming. Please, this way, if you will. The fact that she has plushies in her bed.
I was having the longest dream.
"'Tis time to wake up, Your Grace. Another day begins in Thanalan, and the sun blazes bright upon the sands."
Yeah, now about that Republic.
Her Grace is awoken. The palace physician assures me she is none the worse for her slumber.
Reset button.
I believe Her Grace will soon resume her plans to place the government of Ulda into the hands of its citizens.
Will she now?
Whatever path she chooses to take, I shall walk it with her. And we shall tread slowly, lest the nation be unsettled in our wake.
Lest the rich can't prepare for profit from the situation.
Her Grace's compassion is a shining beacon to us all. But what our city truly thrives upon is competition.
Go fuck yourself.
'Tis in the struggle against our rivals that opportunities are seized and fortunes made.
Go to hell.
And with the Empire on the offensive once more, now would hardly seem the time to turn our system of government upon its head.
Yes, it would.
Are you privy to new intelligence, my lord?
Of course he is. Why else would he allow you to awaken her?
I would hardly call it new. Remind me, what was the name of that enormous Imperial warship which met its end in Mordona? Oh, wait, I have it. The Agrias. Yes, well, 'twould appear that the Garleans have been hard at work on another such vessel.
Oh, the invading empire is still invading?
How
My.
close are they to completing this ship? Is it operational?
Its maiden flight was a success, I hear. I should imagine Emperor Varys is eager to see how it performs in battle. My lords and lady, I move that it is time to repair the damage caused by Teleji Adeleji and prepare our great nation to repel the Empire once more.
See, it's never the time for radical change, but it seems to always be time for radical action by the established order.
"'Tis well that the Sultana has awoken. The Syndicate yet needs to put its house in order, but 'twould seem the worst of the confusion has passed.
Alphino, I will punch you in the face if you give me centrism right now.
Ulda has taken control of its future.
No, it hasn't!
And I must do the same.
No, it hasn't! The control of Ulda's future has been firmly wrested back into the hands of the people who had it before!
I have decided to disband the Crystal Braves.
Little late for that.
Among the recruits, there were those who supported our order's goals and convictions with all sincerity. 'Tis my hope that these loyal men and women will choose to remain our allies in the battles to come.
This is not resolved, Alphino. We're not done with Ulda.
As for those who sided with the traitor, Ilberd, they shall be hunted down and held to account for their crimes. It is my earnest hope that they will surrender themselves peaceably when the time comes, though I think it unlikely. Ah, my all-conquering Crystal Braves. The model army meant to pave the way for a single unified grand company of Eorzea. That so high an ideal should be brought so low.
If only someone was shouting at you the whole time how bad an idea it was. If only.
I need not tell you how deeply the betrayal stung me. Yet I see now that it was mine own naivety and pride which allowed the Braves to fall prey to corruption.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's accurate.
As ever, it is to your own shining example that I turn for inspiration. Like you, I mean to stand firm in the face of hardship and give mine all for the cause. Let us resume the search for our missing comrades, that we might come together to shine the light of dawn across the realm once more.
No. You don't get to pay me off with that. You know, it's like, hey, what if we go get your
The role
Stola
of
back?
Crystal Brave Commander suited me ill, and I shall play it no longer. Henceforth, I shall be no more or less than Alphino, proud member of the Scions.
Okay, all right. All right, okay, calming down. Yeah, no, that sucked. That sucked ass. That sucked butt. That just dove headfirst into an entire ass and just sucked all over that. That was It's just like see, here's the thing. It is fine if Lord Lolorito comes out on top in the story. Like, it is fine that he wins, that he manages to sort of corral things in his favor, and we're sort of, like, forced to accept that by dint of just, like, there's too much to deal with right now. We cannot also foment revolution in Ulda right now. That's okay, but, like, at least comment on it. Like, at least give me some fucking sense that Alphino is also pissed about this. That any of the other characters are like, no, fuck you, actually, you dumb piece of shit. We hate you and we want you dead as soon as possible, even if we can't kill you now. Like, just some sense that the Sultana is like, yo, no, yeah, I'm gonna fucking murder all of the monetarists for what they did to me. Or that fucking Rauban is like, yeah, no, we're definitely gonna murder them, but we're gonna go along for, like, some sense that someone in this story at some point has realized how profoundly galling this turn of events is. How frustrating and how deeply unjust this turn of events is. But no, Rauban just stands there with a happy little good boy smile on his face, being like, yeah, no, we're definitely totally still gonna do a republic at some point, maybe in the future, I don't know, but we're gonna go slow and careful, and we're not gonna rattle things too much, and we're not gonna overturn too many unjust, yeah, you know, the people are suffering, and there's no democracy, and no one has any control over their own lives, and people are poor while some rich assholes sit in a tower somewhere, controlling the entire political order and jerking off with money. But nah, it's just gonna go slow. There's no urgency to this. This doesn't need to be solved right now, does it? All I needed was some recognition from the characters in the story that this fucking sucks. But no, it's like the story behaves, and Alphino behaves as though, oh, we have resolved the problem. The dark chapter of Ulda's history has been brought to a close. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. It has not. It has not. It has not been brought to... Okay. Okay, I need to move on. Otherwise, yeah, I'm gonna have an aneurysm. I blush to speak thus of mine inner turmoil. Fuck you! But the fact remains, there's no man alive in whom I would rather confide. Were it not for your shining example, I might never have emerged from beneath the pall of my despair. I'll show you a fucking pall of despair, you little rich kid. Okay. Alright. Okay. Fine. I'm fine. I am fine. Everything's cool. Everything's alright. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Shut up. I'm not owned. Ignore the signs of turning into a corn cob. Yeah, Dark Knight is the right job for me right now. I can't wait to go back to Ishgard. It can't be more stressful than this. Hello, hi, end of the episode. I'm gonna cut it now. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed hanging out, for a given value, you've enjoyed hanging out in the world of Final Fantasy XIV with me, you can hit the like, comment, and or subscribe buttons down below. That'll let you know when new episodes are coming out. If you want to watch the episodes on this channel early, you can become a member of the channel. That'll give you early access to... You probably figured that out. If you want to watch these streams being recorded live and experience all of this nonsense with me, you can head on over to the Twitch channel. You can subscribe to it if you want access to the VODs, which will contain all of the in-between episode rambling I probably also do. So if you want to see that, subscribe to the Twitch channel. What a time to get hiccups. Subscribe to the Twitch channel, etc. That is all of the self-promotion. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to be kind to one another. Have solidarity for the love of God with those who are worse off than yourselves, and not with the other rich assholes in the room planning the fucking Illuminati takeover of the world. And may the tides of history wash gently over us all.